Record. So all of the lessons, all of my good lessons I'll be recording. So if you missed the class or if you would like to go back to review what you guys were talking about, it's all gonna be uploaded onto YouTube. And I'll provide the link after each class. So today we're gonna talk about the world's deepest shipwreck. Okay, Rita, can you read the first paragraph and I'll have Evan read the second one.
Okay. So an American ocean exploration team has filmed the world's deepest known shipwreck for the first time. The ship is a World War II U.S. Navy battleship called the USS Johnston. The wreck now sits on the ocean floor at the depth of around 6,456 meters.
The explorers are from a company called Caledon Oceanic. Its founder is Victor Vescovo, a former U.S. Navy commander. He has a passion for adventure and for visiting some of the world's hardest to get to places. He holds the record for being the first person ever to get to the top of all the world continents, both poles and the bottom of the world's oceans.
Okay, great. So this is an American ocean exploration team. Exploration. So what do you think of ocean exploration and would you like to explore the world's oceans? Evan, what do you think?
Um, I think the ocean is um, is mysterious, but it's also very interesting for human beings to explore. And there are a lot of different creatures in the ocean that we do still not know, and there are also some dangerous, the most dangerous place in the ocean. For example, maybe the deepest place on the earth, and there are also some some places people like to play extreme sports on ocean be dangerous, although it also is very exciting. Yeah, so I think I like ocean, but I'm also afraid of ocean.
Okay, afraid of the ocean. So there's only one ocean. So we would use the, and usually in the ocean. You can't really do it on, you're not on the surface. It's more of you're still in the water, right? So you're in the ocean. Okay, very interesting. Rita, what about you? What do you think?
I think this one is pretty interesting because that it's really it keeps challenging the technique that we have currently, because that in the past that we only can achieve to like certain level in the ocean, but as we develop our technical like things, vehicles or something, and then we can get deeper in the ocean. And I believe that the whole environment, like the earth, must change a lot. Maybe some place it was not ocean, but it's ocean now. So in the ocean, that maybe some like something will be deeping down and it can make us to know more about the history. So I think it's a pretty cool concept that we can have. And also it mentioned about the words hardest to get to places. So I think that gives the motivation for human that we want to develop more about to know more about our environment and also to that like the whole evolution to be more advanced. But I think that's a pretty interesting topic.
What do you think of the ocean? Is that something that you are afraid of? Like Evan says he's afraid of it because sometimes people are more afraid of you don't know what's inside of it. Or
Mhm.
what do you think that is the feeling that you have when you think of the ocean?
I think ocean for me is also kind of afraid of that because like it's pretty dark in the deep of ocean, and also the pressure that you cannot just like breathe really freely in the ocean. So I'm kind of afraid of that. But it's also really interesting because there are so many, like just like Evan has already mentioned, that creatures there we may not see really frequently. So if possible, I'd like to visit the ocean, but I need to think about a way how can I like improve my swimming skills and breathing in the ocean.
Really? You guys think of being afraid? Like Evan, like I know you used to surf. Did you ever feel like it was scary in the water, or were you afraid of like sharks, or like what's like the feeling that the ocean gives you?
Yeah, I think sometimes I am afraid of the ocean because I went surfing several years ago, and I also dive with played scuba diving several years ago, and because this experience may allow me to think about the ocean. I think through these kind of activities, I can know more about the ocean. I can understand the ocean, but it is this understanding make me to feel scared because I know there are a lot of things that I really don't understand, and sometimes even though I know I know something, but it can still bring about dangers. For example, when I was in the college about 10 years ago, and I went surfing with my friend, and we although my friend he knew that the place is a little bit dangerous, and he told me how to circumvent some dangerous reef in the sea floor, but I still be brought to that area, and my head was hit by the reef. So I think that is this experience that make me understand that the ocean. Sometimes we think we understand it, but it is not true. We have always be careful when we want to want to be more close to the ocean.
Okay, Rita, do you have anything you want to add to that from what Evan said?
Because for me, except from like in a swimming pool or like a water park, I haven't like really go for other like activity in the ocean. So I think that for me, the biggest problem I'm facing right now is that it's about breathing and keep the rhythm, like because how to be more comfortable in the water may be really difficult for me. So yeah, I do not have too much experience related to that yet.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe like for you, open water would be a little bit more challenging if you don't like you feel like your swimming technique is not as good, or you're just not very familiar with the ocean. Okay, so next for the discussion questions, what might the film tell us about history? So they're there to film about this deepest shipwreck. What do you think, Rita?
I think the film may be talking about a lot related to the World War II. Like you may be talking about like what battle the ship has participated in, and also it mentioned about several important people in the article. So maybe we're also talking about those history related to the important people there. And also I think it also want to give the people about the reflection that how people think about war, because we don't have much war recently, but I believe that in the world that many people die because of that. So I think you want to it's just not just bringing about the history, but also bring some topic for people to think about, like peace or other topic that we can think about.
Okay, interesting. Evan, so for you, would you rather go to the top of a mountain or the bottom of a sea or the sea?
Yeah. For me, I prefer going to the bottom of a sea. This is because I don't know. I just feel I mm, I care. I don't know. I think I care about maybe safety and go to the top of a mountain. I think it's more dangerous for me because I mean for a real mountain climbing, that means you have to pack a lot of heavy things, materials and equipments to go to the mountain. And sometimes the weather on the mountain is very difficult to predict, and sometimes we might meet storms or typhoons in the trip. And in the past year, we saw a lot of people they died on the mountain, and I think it a little bit scared me because I don't have a lot of experience of mountain climbing. On the other hand, I went scuba diving before, so I know that if I can have a experienced instructor or guide, make me feel more comfortable and can secure my safety in the water. I think I'll prefer going to the bottom of the sea, and because I think it might be more safer for me.
Okay. Rita, what about you? Which one would you choose?
I think it prepare a lot of equipment. A mountain seems a little bit easier for me because it's like, because when you climb to the mountain, you slowly climb to the mountain and kind of your body, maybe it would give you extra time for your body to adapt to the whole environment. And also if there is anything happen in between when you going to the top, you can kind of stop there. But if you are in the water, you cannot just, it's really difficult just not staying there and not going down or going down or going up. So I think that going to a mountain maybe it will be easier, and also you will have sunlight for you to see around the surrounding. But if you go to a sea, maybe you cannot see your surrounding really clearly. So I think maybe going to the top of the mountain will be easier.
Okay. So choosing the easier one. You're not very curious about what you might see at the bottom of the ocean. Not so much.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so what questions would you like to ask the explorers? Evan, what type of questions would you ask?
I would. I know. I think I would ask them. Well, when they saw the shipwreck, what is what what do they feel about that? I mean, uh, I mean that sometimes I want to know whether they feel excited or feel interested or feel scared about the finding. So I don't know. Maybe I think maybe they'll feel scared because in the shipwreck there might be some dead body there or something mysterious creatures there, or they just felt that they crack a code and to finish a piece of puzzles of the history of World War II. So I'll ask them what is their first feeling when they saw the boat.
First feeling. What do you think would be your feeling when you saw the boat? Would it be very emotional?
I think I'll be excited, and because I think it is the first time people can find the is the first time people find this ship, and it might give us some hints in the history of the battle, and also provide us some important material for further study of the history. It is because I'm somewhat interested in the history of World War II and the politics during that period. So I think for me, I'll feel excited because of these issues.
Okay, great. So what do you think can help us understand history? Do you think that films like these about shipwrecks will help us? Why or why not? And what are some other ways that you think can help? Rita.
I think the film definitely like this can help us to understand more about history, because like if like different films that like just focus on like a brief history of certain countries, it doesn't focus on like the certain events, maybe someone will lose the interest in watching that. So like if a film like this have a certain events and kind of like tell a story about that, I think it will definitely help us. And then also because people need to have interest first, and then they will start to dig more about the history itself. So I think that this type of films is pretty good for educating people about the history.
Okay. And what are some other ways?
I think maybe like a exhibition,
Okay.
or decided like a game. Maybe make the whole history like a escape room, and then they have a certain theme or topic, and then you are one of the person from the past and you need to solve the issue or kind of understand the whole story. And then if you are the person, how will you solve the issue, or is there any different decision that you will make? I think maybe people will be interested in that.
Okay, so you're talking about how we as living in the present will understand that. But what about how are some of the things that can help us understand the history, like films like these, right? Because we can actually see what happened down there. Is there other ways, such as like films? It could be other ways of presenting it for us to understand maybe what has happened a long time ago.
I think maybe like videos, interactive videos, like a trivia things. So during the video, you can do like a little trivia, and then kind of test your understanding, but also teach you something. So I think videos will be a big part of like
What
in
about
the modern world.
What about the most
Museum.
museums? What about those? Like the most
Yeah.
common?
Yeah, that's definitely helpful for us to understand the history, like museum or like books. I think those also really helpful.
Okay. Evan, what do you think?
I think recently the researchers can help us to understand history by more techniques. For example, they can test the DNA on the dead body of the old people. For example, I just read a news on the science website, and it's discussed about how researchers to know Vikings in the history, and they tested their DNA from different countries, and interestingly they found that maybe family members, they are distributed to miles away in different countries. And for example, a father's body might discovered in England. However, his son might be found in Poland. And it is interesting for the researchers and us to understand how the Vikings, they migrate in that period. And I think this is kind of techniques, modern techniques can really help us to understand the history.
Yeah, definitely. That's very interesting about like, but do you think that it's important to learn about the past to live in the present, or to think about the future?
This is a thoughtful question. Yeah, I mean, I think for me it is important for us to learn history because people have to know what might be happen in the future. People like to predict the future, and then history can help us to know what might be happen in the future, and we can do something to prepare, or we can circumvent some danger in the future.
Okay, what about Rita? What do you think?
I think yes, because like if you know the whole history, maybe you can learn about the logic behind that. So you kind of, it helps you to predict the future. And also like because like there are a lot of case study, you can compare it to different country in the same period of time, and why this country can like develop so fast and why this didn't. So you can learn about like decision making method, and also to compare different things, you can come up with a conclusion if you are the leader, or if you want to kind of deciding anything, you can learn about logic and kind of helping your environment or your society to become better.
Yeah, that's true. Also think living in the present is also very important. Something that I've been doing is meditation, being at home, trying to be very calm. And I think that has helped with trying to enjoy, like you're supposed to like focus on your breathing and then enjoy the moment and then think about nothing. Like I think that's really hard. You guys ever tried this before? Are you into meditation? No?
I tried it
No.
a couple times.
It's so hard. I tried it every day for a week. I only do like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm already like falling asleep, feeling very sleepy. Oh, like, but I'm trying to keep this as like a habit because I'm being very active all the time. So I think that's challenging. But maybe it helps people to calm down, right? It will help you to stay calm and to relax and to enjoy the moment, which I think is quite important. Okay,
it is
so
popular recently, meditation.
yeah.
Yeah, and one I have a friend. He's a lecturer for positive thinking when meditation. Yeah,
And
so,
he is, yeah, he should be really good at it.
Yeah, he's a psychiatrist, but I didn't join his class. I'm so busy.
Yeah, okay, see, everyone always says they're busy, right? But I've been trying to just fit in like 10 minutes a day, trying to do that, to keep it a habit. And I think it really it really helps you to focus. So I think it's like a good thing for you to like calm down for 10 minutes, and maybe like you can make it longer when you're more used to it. But I think trying to fit it in as a daily routine is something really good. And the app is called Calm. So it has different focuses. Like today it's self-love or self-esteem or confidence, right? So they have different topics and there's someone there to guide you throughout the whole thing. So I think that's quite nice. Okay, so moving on to the role play. So I'm going to give you each a different, I guess this is a different topic. So you guys can think about it for a minute. We're going to take a 1-minute break and then come back. So for deep sea diving, okay, let's see. I think we can skip that one. Let's talk about climbing Mount Everest. I'm going to give Rita that, and then I'm going to give Evan a trip into space. Okay, so you guys have to try to convince each other about the greatest adventure, but also to keep in mind about the structure of how you want to structure your argument, right? You need to fit 3 reasons, and you have to give more concrete, maybe examples or statistics or numbers or something there that can support your answer, right? Because what is going to happen is first you're going to present your argument. Everyone's presenting the argument, and then the first person is going to have to listen to the other person's argument and try to counter or to try to convince the other person why theirs is wrong, why their reason is not really a good reason, and then try to convince each other. Okay, so this is a little bit more challenging and it's a fun part of today's lesson. So take a 1-minute break and we're going to come back and think about your answers, what you're going to do, how you're going to support your answers. Okay, great. So let's come back and then take a 1-minute break.